Texas Republican congressman who also serves as the vice chair for the Joint Economic Committee and friend of Freedom Watch, Kevin Brady, is here. Welcome back, Congressman Brady. Welcome back to Freedom Watch.
Thanks, Judge. Thanks for having me.
I know that the speaker yesterday, when he gave a speech to a private group, well, we all watched it, was sort of the unofficial Republican response to what the president said last week, said no new taxes. But he also said what we just quoted him saying before, and I wanted you to hear that in case you weren't there when he said it. He's in favor of responsible infrastructure spending. Congressman Brady, where on the planet is he going to get the cash for infrastructure spending?
You know, what I took from the speaker's portion right there was that he knows and has said, you know, the Highway Trust Fund, the Aviation Trust Fund, our harbor maintenance trust funds are broken. We've been living beyond our means in those areas, yet there's some real needs. And what I took from him is that, look, you know, infrastructure is important in America, but we're going to finance it responsibly. We're not going to keep dipping in the general fund because the Highway Trust Fund is living beyond its means. That we're going to do it the right way. And in this debt crisis that we have in America, we can't afford another $50 or $60 billion in the president's second stimulus to do what he hopes to do. We can't keep, as you know, borrowing money we don't have for jobs we're not getting, and the president's plan won't help us.
All right, Congressman Brady, I suspect that you agree with me. In fact, I know you agree with me because we've talked about this many times. The government doesn't produce wealth, it consumes wealth. Only private investment, private enterprise, and people risking their own money produces prosperity. So how can Speaker Boehner suggest that the ball will be advanced with respect to jobs if the government spends cash, whether it's to fix a bridge that really needs to be fixed or to fix a school that doesn't need to be fixed?
You know what I think, looking at overall his speech, what he said was, look, you know, the stimulus has failed. America's economy 2 years into a supposed recovery is flying this low and this slow. We face a double-dip recession because of a shock from Europe. It'd be different if we were flying strong and steady at 20,000 feet, but we're not. So we do risk that. And I think his point is, look, stop what we're doing. You know, take taxes and tax increases off the table. Call a halt to the regulations. Let's get Washington out of the way of this economic recovery and give businesses some certainty that they can invest with a fair rate of return. That's what I heard overall the speaker said, and I think that represents exactly where conservatives and Republicans are in Congress. Get Washington out of the way of this recovery.
Were you surprised at the report in the Wall Street Journal this morning that fully 1/3 of economists, I'm talking about economists across the board, Austrian economists and Keynesian economists, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, progressives, conservatives, believe that we're on the verge of another major recession? Not a recovery, a recession.
You know, I'm not surprised, Judge, and here's why. One, the reasons Republicans were pushing so hard for a different type of response to the economy was that half of all financial crises like we had end up in a double-dip recession. One of the reasons we were insisting we get the economy back on track the right way was to get our economic engines flying fast and at a high speed. Today, Europe really is a problem in our own economy with manufacturing jobs down, consumer confidence down, housing down, business investment down. We've made ourselves vulnerable, and that's the problem.
Congressman Brady, the governor of your state, Governor Rick Perry, has referred to Social Security as a Ponzi scheme. Does Kevin Brady believe it's a Ponzi scheme?
You know, I do, and here's why. I think the country's hungry for truth tellers. Social Security, if you want to preserve, and I do, and the governor does, you want to preserve that program for every generation, once and for all, you have to tell the truth. There's fewer and fewer workers paying for more and more seniors, and that just doesn't work. And the longer we put off dealing with that financial problem, the more that program is at risk. So I appreciate the governor just telling it the way it is. You can use whatever term you want, but that's an important program that's in trouble. So why not just say it?
Got it. Congressman Kevin Brady, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Judge.